Welcome, Pewter Report readers, viewers, and listeners to a brand new edition of the Pewter Report podcast, energized by Celsius, the official energy drink of pewterreport.com. Hope you guys missed us. It is a Monday edition of the show, and it's Creamsicle week, as the Bucs will be rocking their orange creamsicles this Sunday against the Detroit Lions, and they were rocking the Bucco Bruce helmets at practice today. It was so awesome. We will talk about that practice and who was participating in just a moment. But first, as I mentioned before, Celsius is the official sponsor of the Pewter Report podcast. Check out all of their fantastic flavors, including the Cosmic Vibe, which is their newest flavor. It is a sparkling fruit punch. Like I said, a ton of great different flavors, so can't go wrong with the sparkling lemon lime. The sparkling orange is an OG, but one of the best around. You see assortment flavors of there, including the peach mango and the watermelon and the strawberry acai. Strawberry lemonade's great too, and the Arctic Vibe is my personal favorite. There's no sugar, no post-energy drink crash or jitters that you might get with another product out there. So if you need to know where to find a Celsius energy drink, that's totally fine and easy to do. Just go to the Celsius store website, punch in your address, and it will tell you the closest geographical location in the world where you can find one. Could be at your local Walmart, maybe a 7-Eleven or a health and fitness store, or your bodega. And once you go to your bodega and you love Celsius and you know you want more and you want to get it in bulk, that's when you can buy the variety pack, because variety is the spice of life. It's when you go to Amazon, click on the subscribe and save, and you can have it sent to your house or apartment every week, month, quarterly, yearly, whenever you want. Take advantage of it now, because Amazon's got a couple of, I don't know, it's Amazon Prime Day or something like that. But they got some big stuff coming up on the 10th and the 11th. So do that for Celsius. Make Celsius your number one pick. Celsius, the official sponsor of the Pewter Report podcast. I'm Matt Matera, by the way. Joined with me is the face that runs the place at pewterreport.com, SR Scott Reynolds. And Scott, we have a fun little announcement when it comes to Celsius energy.
We do. Oh. It's Creamsicle week, so it only makes sense that Celsius would get on board, and they've got a promotion that they're doing in conjunction with Pewter Report. That's right. Celsius orange flavor, my personal favorite, and certainly one of the most popular flavors. Celsius has given us 3 cases of orange to give away. Now, here's the thing. All you have to do is super chat us today and Wednesday and Thursday. We're going to be giving away a case each day. We're going to pick the winner from today on Wednesday. So we're going to announce the winner from today's show on Wednesday. We're going to announce the winner of Wednesday's show on Thursday. And then on Thursday's show, we're going to do that. And then we're going to announce the winner on our Pewter Report postgame podcast on Sunday. So what do you have to do? You have to super chat us. That's it. Just give us a super chat. Any denomination you want, right? And you can ask us a question. You can leave a comment. And Matt and I, we're going to decide which question is best. It doesn't even have to do with the monetary donations, right? If you want to give us a $100 super chat, it might help your chances of winning a little bit. But to be perfectly candid with you, Matt and I talked about this. To be fair, we're going to go with either the best question or comment. So a super chat of any denomination today, and then in today's show, that'll be kind of like one little section, and we'll pick a winner to get a case of Celsius, and then we'll contact you. All we need is just your name and address, and we'll have Celsius ship that to you. And they'll do the same thing on Wednesdays and Thursday show. So it's a great opportunity for you to win a case of orange Celsius, and we'll ship it right to you. And all you have to do is super chat us. So every super chat enters you into the chance to win today. And then Wednesday's show will be independent. And then Thursdays will also be another independent chance for you guys to win.
Yeah, so you have 3 chances of winning with each show. And again, to sum it up, just any type of super chat automatically qualifies you to get picked, just like Shaggy right here. Shaggy didn't even know this yet.
Yeah.
But with the $5 super chat saying, shh, be very, very quiet. We're hunting lions. So exactly. It could be a statement. It could be a comment. I like a little bit of, funny in it as well. So if it's a humorous comment, that will definitely help your chances of winning. But, we love Celsius so much. And It's a delicious energy drink, and
Yep.
great chance to win. As
Yeah.
Paul, aka Florida Dreamhouse, my number one fan, big fan of Paul and all the beautiful people,
Yeah.
with the $2 super chat says 3 cases of Celsius. Yes, please. Yeah. So you have multiple opportunities to go ahead and win this. So shout out to Celsius. This is a great opportunity for everybody. And yeah, good luck. Let
Matt,
the games begin.
Yeah, exactly, Matt. You know what I did during the bye week? Because I told you, but I'm going to tell everybody, the Pewter people. I went, I took the family to Bozeman, Montana, and we also went to Yellowstone. And guess what I did? I used Celsius.com, clicked on the store locator, found that Albertsons up there in Bozeman, and grabbed my Celsius for the week for myself and the family. So it was awesome. So real quick little tour here. This is Bozeman, Montana. We saw fall, which in Florida, if you live in Florida, you know, we don't get fall down here. It's either like hot or not as hot. Those are our 2 seasons. But up there, it was not green or brown like we have in Florida with the foliage. It was yellow and orange and red. It was amazing. So you see some snow-capped mountains there. That's Bozeman, Montana. On Saturday, we went into Yellowstone, absolutely gorgeous national park, the world's first, or the America's first national park. Yeah. And we also saw buffalo, wild buffalo, folks. That's not a zoomed in picture. We were 15 yards away from that 1,000-pound beast. It was absolutely incredible. So really, really recommend Bozeman, Montana, and Yellowstone National Park. Fantastic weather up there. Lows in the 40s, highs in the 50s and 60s. It was just fantastic. And again, Celsius, man, store locator. Yeah. That's all you got to do. Wherever you go in the country. We did that in Indianapolis for the Combine, Matt. It works.
I was about to say that. You can pretty much be anywhere, and you'll be able to find it. Came in handy, very, very much so, when we were in Indianapolis. I did not do any traveling for the bye week. I stayed in Tampa, but I watched a ton of football. So also a great weekend. Anytime.
Winning some money.
Yeah. As Ryan Giles, thank you for the $1.99 super chat. You are eligible to win the Celsius energy drink pack of orange. Says, Bucs fan from Wyoming here, just supporting y'all. Thank you so much, Ryan. We really appreciate that. We love the fact that we have fans all over. We love that there are Bucs fans in Florida, but it's awesome to see how far it's really expanded. As Daniel King says, was able to find Celsius at Royal Navy Dockyard in Bermuda this past summer. Made my day. You know what's funny? Just recently, I booked a trip in May. I will be going to Italy, and I'm going to use the Celsius store locator in Italy. Yeah, it's coming up in May, so it's not for quite a while. But can't wait to use the Celsius store locator. Very excited about it.
This is a good comment. If Celsius was the slam dunk number 1 overall pick, Lovie Smith would somehow screw up the pick. That's a fact, unfortunately. So, well, listen, it is Creamsicle week, right? And we did speak with Larry Foote today at One Buccaneer Place, the Appen Health Training Center. We're going to do our Lions preview on Wednesday, right? So we're going to talk a little bit of Lions. We know that they crushed the Panthers yesterday, and I crushed the my bet on my bookie. I went all in on the Dolphins over the Giants on the point spread, and also with the Lions rolling the Panthers, and they did. So I was a very happy camper yesterday when it came to my bookie bets. But if you want to, and why wouldn't you? If you want to tune in on Wednesday for our Bucs versus Lions preview, boom, there you go. That's Levante David tackling David Montgomery. I mean, look at that. We're envisioning the future there, people. So there you go. So Wednesday show, 4:00. Again, tune in and you'll find out who wins the case of Celsius from today. And you'll have another chance to win a case of Celsius on Wednesday with our Orange Celsius promotion. So, Matt, we also talked with a couple players today. We did. About this Lions game coming up, as well as, just looking at wearing the Creamsicle jerseys. And Yaya Diaby was one of those guys who was super stoked to wear the Creamsicle, as Christopher Oxentine, our big supporter from Overland Park, says. Hopefully I win a Yaya Diaby Creamsicle jersey.
Yeah. We got the video. I'll play it in just a moment about some of the Bucs players talking about wearing the Creamsicles, as we do have a super chat from Christopher Oxentine as well. Thank you for the $5 super chat. You are now eligible to win the Celsius. I was so disappointed with UCF's performance in Lawrence. However, we are starting to get some Creamsicle orange on our trees here. Yeah, that was a rough one for UCF. But what I was going to say was, I don't know why I didn't think about this, but going to practice today, for some reason I thought maybe the Bucs would still have their regular helmets and they would just rock Bucco Bruce on game day. No, they were rocking the helmets at practice today. It was so cool. You could check out our social media to see the helmets and everything. I imagine they'll be doing it for the rest of the week. But something's it's hitting different, but hitting in a great way with the Creamsicle jerseys arriving, the return of Bucco Bruce coming this Sunday. So let's get to this video of a couple of Bucs talking about their excitement for wearing the Creamsicles. We got Diaby and Luke Gedeke and Devin White as well. So get live 45.
You excited as everybody else is?
Yeah, I know I'm excited. I'm excited to wear that orange, man. I feel like I'm gonna look the best in it. I feel like I'm gonna look the best in it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're all ecstatic to get on the throwback jersey and everything. Really looking excited. Really looking forward to it and everything.
Everyone was rocking the Bucco Bruce helmets today. How'd you feel wearing it?
I was clean. I got a gold visor going on mine. I thought I had the swaggiest one. But at the end of the day, man, we still got to get this win. I think that's way more important than what uniform we wearing, just because we was on the road, we was getting back going. We getting a lot of guys back healthy. So we need the most important win in those jerseys.
Devin White staying focused. We got to win in these jerseys. Doesn't matter if we look good, but I still think it is important to look good while you play.
And one of the most important things, Matt, when you were out there, was you were noticing who was at practice today. A couple of guys we haven't seen suit up in a while, and there was also one guy that we're hopeful plays on Sunday, but wasn't out there participating. So let's get right to the injury news, Matt.
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously everyone wants to know about Mike Evans. We'll get to Mike Evans in a second. But for the first time in quite a long time, we saw Calijah Cancey out there practicing today. The Bucs' first-round pick, defensive tackle, had that calf injury going all the way back to training camp that essentially wiped out his entire training camp. He never had a full practice in pads and everything during training camp. That's how early on he got injured with that calf injury. And then for those that may not remember, his first action ever in the NFL was week 1 against the Vikings. Had a quarterback hit, looked pretty good, the 10-11 snaps that he played, but then unfortunately that calf injury flared up again and he exited the game. And Bucs were a little more cautious this time around. Even Todd Bowles admitted that. So, but he was practicing today, which was super, super important. We don't get an injury report list until Wednesday because this was a quote-unquote bonus practice that we were able to go to, but thankful that we were able to go to see Calijah Cancey. Jamel Dean was practicing. That's obviously very important. Carlton Davis was practicing as well. I know he played last game against the Saints, but dealing with that toe injury, I feel like it could kind of rear its ugly head at any point. So both cornerbacks were back with Carlton Davis and Jamel Dean. Sticking with the secondary, Ryan Neal did participate. Remember, he got a concussion early in that game against the Saints, but he was out there, so it looks like he'll be good to go. And then with Mike Evans, so he wasn't out there stretching and warming up and everything like that. And then usually early on in practice, after the calisthenics, they start doing special team stuff. So Mike's not involved with that. Anyway, so Mike came out. He wasn't in a helmet. He wasn't in shoulder pads, anything like that. Just, T-shirt and shorts. Had a conversation with Levante David. And then, of course, as Mike comes out, that's when they start wrapping it up with the media availability for practice. But as we were walking off, Mike went over to the far right field and started warming up and presumably running on his own. I will say, Mike was in very good spirits. He was laughing, literally laughing out loud very hard at something that he was having in a conversation with the Bucs trainer. So he seems to be in a good mood. He obviously had a week off to, heal up that hamstring injury. And you guys all know Mike Evans. You've seen a lot of the times before games, he's rocking either a LeBron James high school jersey or a really cool basketball jersey or an NFL jersey. I don't think Mike Evans is going to miss the opportunity to rock the Creamsicles for the first time in his career.
No, you're exactly right. So this is a good question. We have a ton of super chats, by the way, which we appreciate. We're going to get to them right away, but we're also going to stay topical with this show. Daniel King, how many current players have worn the Creamsicles? Levante David, Yes. As a matter of fact, that's it. He is the only guy. Will Golston, who is the second oldest Buccaneer in terms of tenure, did not wear the Creamsicles because he was drafted in 2013, 1 year after Levante was drafted in 2012. 2012 is the last year the Bucs donned the Creamsicle uniform. So Levante is the only guy. And that's why we have Levante David featured on today's show graphic, because he's the only player that we have a picture of on the current roster that wore the Creamsicle. That was young Levante David back then as a rookie. And then, of course, we also created this picture here of Levante tackling David Montgomery, which hasn't happened yet, but it's going to, hopefully a lot on Sunday for the Buccaneers out there. And that's it. Levante David, he's the guy. So make sure you tune in to our Wednesday show, the Bucs Lions preview at 4:00 here on the Pewter Report TV channel on YouTube.
Let's get into a couple of super chats because it is 4:17. That means we have 3 minutes until one of our favorite things to do on the Pewter Report podcast, which is roll call. But we'll get to that at 4:20. Let's start with Bucs Basement. Thank you for the $2 super chat. You are now eligible to win the Celsius. Would you guys be interested in Mac Jones? I think the Bucs should be interested in re-signing Baker Mayfield. So absolutely, unequivocally, no, I would not be interested in Mac Jones. There are other, I guess, reclamation projects I think the Bucs would rather, take a flyer on than Mac Jones. And also, you still have Kyle Trask. So, I don't know. What are you getting from Mac Jones that you can't get with Kyle Trask?
Yeah.
Paul, a.k.a. Florida Dreamhouse, thank you very much for the $5 super chat, says, Matty Diamonds is now 20-14-1 overall with NFL picks, parentheses, hero. Baker Mayfield is the truth at quarterback, parentheses, hero. Bucs team shutting up the hate, parentheses, heroes. Paul, thank you so much for following my picks. Had a little bit of a down week with Peter picks and props. Maybe it's because the Bucs didn't play, but I went 2-3 this week, so not the best, but whatever. Eric Moreno, thank you for the $5 super chat. You are now eligible for the Celsius. And Eric says, go Bucs. I'm going to the game this week. I haven't been this excited for a Bucs game in a while. Hoping Mike Evans is a full go by this week. Eric, very excited for you going to the game, seeing the Creamsicles live and in action. I hope Mike Evans plays as well. Obviously, he's super important to the Bucs offense, and you can see it's very Mike Evans, Chris Godwin driven with that offense, and then everyone else is kind of filling their part here and there.
Yep. Hezo 813 with a $10 super chat. Appreciate it very much. For the Creamsicle throwback game, I look for the Bucs to make a statement to the league like they did against the Packers at home in 2020. That certainly is the plan according to Todd Bowles. That's what they want to do. I think this is really going to be a good measuring stick, and I'm going to talk about that during today's roll call for coming up in about 1 minute here. And Matt's going to put your locations on there. So make sure, as we do every Monday, it's not a victory Monday, but it's still a Monday. It means roll call at 4:20.
It is kind of a victory Monday. The Bucs didn't lose. They
That's
didn't
true.
lose. And you know what? You know what? Oklahoma won, and Baker Mayfield was on College game day. So it kind of is a victory Monday.
Exactly.
Yeah, nonetheless.
Let's get one more super chat in here. We have a couple more to get to, but here's the super chat before we do roll call. Spider-Man, $4.99 super chat. Thank you. Did you see the Broncos try to steal the Bucs look? You can't mess with the OG Creamsicle team. I will be at the game this Sunday for Throwback Week. That's awesome. I did see it. They went with the orange crush look.
Yeah. And
they with the white helmet, and they got crushed.
Russell Wilson got crushed. Got sacked multiple times. And you know what's funny? The broadcasters, I don't know who the play-by-play guy was, but Matt Ryan and Tiki Barber were the color commentators. And one of them mentioned, kind of looks like the Bucs orange creamsicle. I bet it was Tiki because obviously with Rondé. But they did actually point that out on the broadcast. So funny enough. So great minds thinking alike.
No doubt. Well, it is that time, Matt.
That's right. It is roll call. Where are you at, Pewter people? This is a fun thing we do with the great Pewter people that we love so much. Just a fun way to interact with everybody on Monday's show. Pretty much all we do is in the comments, if you guys want to start putting where you guys are watching from, because we have awesome fans all over, whether it's in Florida or the United States or international as well. I'll start putting it up on the screen as Scott starts talking about the Bucs and whatever topic that he wants to go with. So start putting your locations on the screen and let's get it rolling.
Little bit of a Lions preview here, is generally speaking. We're going to dive into the details on Wednesday. But the thing I like about this game is the Buccaneers stubbed their toe big time against the Eagles in Week 3 on Monday Night Football. And they did their part to get back on track by beating the Saints in a nice bounce back win before the bye week. And that caused the league to take notice, and wisely so, anticipating the Lions would be 4-1 after beating the Carolina Panthers. That was a foregone conclusion. Again, I made a lot of money on my bookie bet beating, or I should say, with the Lions beating the Panthers in that cat fight yesterday. But I like this as a real good measuring stick game for the Buccaneers, because the Eagles and the 49ers are the class of the NFC this year. And they seem destined, unless disaster strikes with injuries or some team rises up. It seems like that's going to be a repeat of last year's NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
The winner, of course, probably facing, I don't know, who's the power in the AFC, Matt. We were kind of bragging about the Chiefs and the Bills and how the AFC with the Jets, they're all loaded up. But I mean, I don't know. The AFC looks a little bit in disarray right now, doesn't it?
Slightly. I think we're kind of looking at, I think we're nitpicking some flaws with certain teams. But, Buffalo just lost to the Jaguars. Miami obviously is kind of the hottest team in football with their offense.
Right. And the Bengals haven't been maybe as good as advertised, but I digress a little bit, right? So listen, you lose to the NFC champions in week 3 with a new offense and a new quarterback and a young team. Okay, that's fine. But the league is giving the Buccaneers another shot by moving this game to 4:25. Put them in the afternoon matinee primetime schedule, not primetime, but afternoon primetime, and selling this to a more of a nationwide audience. This is the Bucs' chance to see if they're a B+ team or a C+ team. Because right now the Lions are a B+ team, right? If you're going to say the Eagles and the 49ers are the A's, well, the Lions at 4-1, they're right there. I mean, this team walked into Arrowhead in week 1 and beat the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead on Thursday Night Football at the start of the season. That's hard to do. So I'm curious to see. We know that the Bucs are not at the level of the Eagles, certainly not yet. And we know that they're better than the Saints, and the Saints proved yesterday that maybe they're not that bad, or maybe the Patriots are really, really bad.
Terrible. Yeah.
But this is going to be a really interesting test for the Buccaneers. Are they going to keep it close? Are they going to win a close game? Are they going to blow out the Lions, or are they going to get it blown out? One of those 4 things is going to happen. And I'm really curious to see where this team stacks up now that it's a little bit more fully loaded with Calijah Cancey coming back into the mix, Jamel Dean being healthy, Carlton Davis getting healthier, along with Devin White being healthier, and Vita Vea being healthier, and hopefully Mike Evans will be healthier. I'm just really anxious to see how this team measures up to the Lions, just as much as I'm curious about how awesome this team's going to look in those orange jerseys and the Bucco Bruce helmets.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Scott, about the fact that it very much feels like another litmus test, or whatever you want to call it. And while ultimately the Bucs failed the litmus test against the Eagles, I think we all walked away from that game saying, hey, it wasn't great by any means, but the Bucs, at least, they hung tough, and they made the Eagles work for everything. There wasn't too many silly blunders by the Bucs in that game, just maybe not executing as well as they would have wanted. So, yeah, I think that's kind of what we're looking for in this one as well. I don't think I don't know. I feel like people are very divided about moral victories, and can you still have a moral victory if you don't win a game? But if they keep it close with the Lions, again, you're not going to be thrilled. But I also think you can understand that maybe the next time that they meet, it's in the Bucs' favor. And I think that's kind of what you're looking for the most.
Yeah, and you know, Matt, it goes back to the Super Bowl seasons that this franchise has had. In 2002, they lost to the Eagles earlier in that year, right? And then they played them in the NFC Championship back in Philly, and they beat them. Yeah. Same thing in 2020. They lost to the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Earlier in the season, right before the bye week. Then they played them in the Super Bowl, and they beat them. And I'm not saying the Bucs are going to the Super Bowl this year, but I'm just saying in those big years that most Bucs fans remember, you get that rematch game. And we'll see. The rematch game last year didn't really pan out so well, right? They beat the Dallas Cowboys in week 1, and then they got waxed in the playoffs, right? But for Dallas, they had made the necessary improvement throughout the year to do that, to pull that off. And I'm just curious. if the Buccaneers make the playoffs, if they win the division, they might get another shot at the Eagles. They might get another shot at the Lions. And let's see how this team fares in round 2. But I'm curious to see how the Bucs fare in round 1 against the Lions.
Exactly. And I think I said this on Thursday's show when Bailey Adams was on with me. And Scott, we've discussed it a little bit about, sure, the Bucs just want to get right and they want to win these games, but it's also important. They've been beating a lot of NFC teams, so the tiebreakers later on in the season will be important. We just talked about how the 49ers are absolute juggernauts, and it looks like it's going to be a rematch of them against the Eagles. But in an interesting way, this Bucs-Lions game is super, super important because you don't want to be the last division winner. And I think it's going to be a race between whoever wins the NFC North, who we think is going to be the Lions, and whoever wins the NFC South, which Bucs fans hope it'll be the South. Yeah. The thing is, and I know they got pummeled last night. The Cowboys got embarrassed on national television. I know a lot of people are happy about that.
Yeah.
I still would not really want to play the Dallas Cowboys in the first round of the playoffs versus playing against, whoever comes in second place in the NFC West or whoever comes in second place in the NFC North. Because you're either playing the Cowboys or you're playing Seattle, Green Bay, a couple of all these other teams that are much, much more favorable to your advantage. Yeah. Like you have a much better opportunity of getting to that second round by getting into like the number 3 seed in the NFC.
I agree. That's a fantastic point, and we just want to recognize Shaggy here for another $5 super chat. I'm more excited for the Bucco Bruce helmet return. Let's go Bucs. That's a great one. Just got to get this in just because, we're here to entertain and to please the people, the Pewter people. I bought a Yaya Diaby jersey at a local bodega. There you go, Chris.
Yeah,
good
that's
stuff.
Awesome.
Let's get back to here's a great question here.
Yeah.
This is a really good question, and I got the answer. How many times are the Bucs allowed to wear the throwbacks? They're allowed to wear them one time, and it's an alternate jersey, so you're allowed to wear that alternate jersey one time, because it's a throwback. That's, I guess, what the league is mandated. If you're going a throwback, you can wear it one time. And now an alternate jersey you can wear different times. I have been told by the Buccaneers that wearing the creamsicles does not mean they're doing away with the all pewter look this year, the pewter pants, the pewter jerseys, and of course the pewter helmets. They're going to be doing that. The game has not been decided yet, or I should say it's been decided, but it has not been announced yet. So they will be doing from here on out. The game plan as it stands right now is to have a throwback game, which will be a home game, and then a all pewter game, which I believe will also be another home game. But they've also worn the all pewter look on the road before. Remember at the Rams a couple years ago. So that's the plan, is to have one all pewter game and then one throwback game, Bucco Bruce attire going forward.
I wish that the throwback rule was you could wear it twice, but one of them can only be on the road, because I understand like you only have 8 or 9 home games depending on how the schedule flips and everything like that. So I understand like you kind of got to get all of your jerseys in. But what's the harm in wearing the Creamsicle for a road game? I mean, every team has an away white jersey. Like it's not that specific. The Creamsicle is very, very specific.
It is.
Like, can you imagine they play the Cowboys in Dallas and they're rocking the orange Creamsicle? Yeah. Oh, that would be so awesome.
It would also be cool, Matt, too, if you can kind of plan it to where like you're playing the Falcons, right? And they're wearing their red throwback helmet, right, with the black jerseys, and you got the Creamsicle on. I mean, that would be awesome.
What about when they play the Titans? They could. This would be the best matchup.
Oh,
the Titans, the baby blue,
Houston, the love you blue, the Oiler look.
Yeah, against the Creamsicle orange. Yeah, that's got to happen.
That would be groovy. Let's boogie. I mean, that's 1970s all over again, man. That would be fantastic. I'm with you, Matty Diamonds. We got another super chat here to get to.
Yeah, shout out Paul again, a.k.a. Florida Dreamhouse. Thank you for the $2 super chat, who says, Matty Diamonds, Andrea in Italia, non dimentichieri. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it.
Sounds good.
Celsius, appreciate that. He's obviously bringing up that I got my trip to Italy coming up in May. I need to learn some Italian, so I appreciate that. Ward Burns with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Ward. You are now eligible to win a Celsius. Bowles will have a game plan ready to frustrate Goff. Hutchinson hasn't had to see a guy like 78 this year This game is won in the trenches. Go Bucs. Well, I agree that this game is going to be won in the trenches. If I'm Detroit, I'm not putting Aiden Hutchinson on Tristan Wirfs. I'm putting Hutchinson on a guy that's played very well this season, but I mean, it's Tristan Wirfs.
He's typically playing the left defensive end spot anyway. Yeah. So he goes up against the right tackle. That's where Aiden Hutchinson typically is parked. And if you saw, he had an interception on Bryce Young playing left defensive end and just an amazing. I think the guy's got 3 interceptions in his young NFL career. Yeah. It's nuts. He's a fantastic player. Do we have any video of Luke?
We have.
Okay, this would be a good time to do that. Matt, I knew you're on top of it, man.
Yeah.
Let's go to that video.
You put it up on a tee for me. So this is Luke Gedeke discussing what is most likely going to be the matchup of him against Aiden Hutchinson.
So last time we saw you in the field, you did a damn good job on Cam Jordan, but Aiden Hutchinson, man, he might be your biggest challenge to date. What did you see in film from this guy?
I mean, he's got great power. He's a great technician. I mean, he's got great speed rush and everything. Really works his hands well. I'm looking forward to the matchup.
Not only can this guy get to the quarterback, he can also intercept passes.
Yeah,
and that's unusual for somebody so close to the line of scrimmage, but I think he's got 3 in his career so far.
Yeah, I mean, that's quite a crazy stat that he has, and just hats off to him. I mean, he definitely works his tail off out there.
Actually surprised we got through that whole video without anyone cussing in the background. So.
Yeah. Interesting. And I got it on audio because he continued to talk about Aiden Hutchinson. And he wasn't throwing shade towards Hutchinson. He's like, yeah, he's good, but I really think that Danielle Hunter's better. So, and he handled Danielle Hunter pretty well. He gave up a sack to Hunter, but that was really more on Baker Mayfield because Baker actually backed into the sack in week 1. So interesting that at least on film, Luke Gedeke feels that his matchup with Danielle Hunter was better than either Cam Jordan or this week's matchup against Aiden Hutchinson. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Ultimately, I think that's how this game is going to be won on both sides with Vita Vea, hopefully Calijah Cancey coming back. But we'll talk more about that again on Wednesday's shows. We have a $5 super chat from Jefferson Tugboat. And this is a great question as well. Yeah. Thank you, Jefferson. You guys are bringing it. You guys really want that.
Yes.
What's the minimum Baker Mayfield has to do the rest of this year to make him worth re-signing? I think this is a great question.
It is.
And he's already off to a good start. I mean, obviously, he's got to take care of the football. I think regardless, and I'm not going to put a specific number on it,
right?
But he's got to hold on to the football. I mean, this isn't Baker, but if the run game continues, hopefully is continuing to build in the right direction, then you don't need Baker to do as much. I think Baker just needs to hold on to the football, make the throws, make the smart throws, okay? You don't have to get wild with certain stuff. Just be gritty, fight for the first down like you do. Keep feeding Mike and Chris Godwin. I think, even his interception on against the Saints, it was the right throw. It was just a poor throw.
Yeah.
No, just don't try to be Superman too much. I want that from Baker. Take the shots when you have it, and I'm not saying he should be a game manager, but he should be a game organizer.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, I think that's fair to say. And, I'm trying to find, because I guess he did get injured, but I don't really see anything on, I'm just scanning some news right here. Doesn't look like it was terribly serious. I think he ended up finishing the game on Sunday. I didn't watch it. I was on the plane right home from Montana. But I will say this. I do think that Gedeke I think he's up for the challenge. He's got a lot of confidence around him. He's playing really well. I think the biggest thing, and I talked to him about this, is I said, do you guys feel any pressure on the offensive side? Because the Lions, man, they don't settle for field goals, right? They had 6 touchdowns against the Carolina Panthers. They had 3 touchdowns, right, in a 21-20 win over the Chiefs in week 1. They find a way to get the ball in the end zone, whether it's in the red zone or just outside the red zone. I mean, they put up touchdowns, and that's a high-powered offense. We saw 26 points, Matt, from the Bucs offense in week against the Saints in New Orleans. That's the most points scored by this Dave Canales offense to date. It feels to me like Tampa Bay has to score maybe 28 points or more in this game to come out on top. And maybe they'll do it. I mean, the Lions defense is good, but I don't know that it's great necessarily. They do a really good job shutting down the run. They really made Bijan Robinson look pedestrian when they beat the Falcons 20-6. So they've had their moments on defense, but to me, I think that if the Bucs are going to win, it feels like they got to score at least 28 points, maybe 30, 31. I think this might be a little bit of a shootout game.
Well, it's quite interesting if you look at it from a number of different ways, and I'm kind of more generally speaking, but the Lions, everyone saw them open up the season against the Chiefs, and granted the Chiefs, lost a couple of receivers and stuff like that, but their defense looked great against the Kansas City Chiefs. Remember, they had a pick 6 in that game. And then they were kind of in a shootout against the Seattle Seahawks. Now that kind of works in favor for the Bucs because of Dave Canales and his history with the Seattle Seahawks. I also think it's important. What I think is a very exciting matchup is the fact that the Bucs defense, and obviously they were great against the Saints. They are stingy when it comes to playing in the red zone. They don't just allow touchdowns willy-nilly. It happens from time to time. Also, we know that Todd Bowles fearful isn't the right word, but Todd Bowles is very wary of making sure to not allow the big play. And it feels like the Lions have gotten a lot of those big plays. Everyone saw the trick play to for the touchdown. And we know Dan Campbell loves fake punts on 4th down and
you'll go for it, man.
Down. So that's a little bit of the game within the game that I'm very excited to watch. What does Dave Canales take from that Seahawks game with personnel that he knows very well? What worked for them can he use against Detroit? And if Detroit is going to move the ball down the field, which I think we all believe that they are to a degree, can the Bucs get those stops in the red zone? They did last week against the Saints. They've done it a lot this season. But that's kind of the game within the game. We do have Larry Foote. Spoke a lot about Jared Goff, spoke a lot about the Lions offense just putting up points. And he had a very interesting comment about Jared Goff, comparing him to a Hall of Fame quarterback and a soon-to-be Hall of Fame quarterback.
Larry, you've faced Jared Goff several times back in L.A., and then most recently you're going to be facing him here as a Detroit Lion. How have you seen Jared Goff progress as a quarterback, and he's playing really good football right now for Detroit?
Well, I remember he was drafted because I was in Arizona. Probably his only bad year, in my opinion, probably his rookie year. Soon as McVay's second year, he just took off, and he's a good, savvy quarterback. What's unique about him, I put him in that group with Brady and Manning as far as the play action. They sell it. They do a good job selling it. And, as a linebacker, that can be tricky because it looks the same. But he's making every throw, and he's the number 1 pick.
This year rather than threes.
I think started last year, they put the league on notice. That offense is high powered. They can run it. They can throw it. Talked about Goff earlier. The line is good. It's going to be a big challenge for us. And just studying them guys, they can run it and throw it. So the guys got to buy in and got to win your one-on-one matchups. And in order to beat a good offense like that, your players got to outplay them. And our guys are up for the challenge.
And because the Lions offense gives the opportunity to score a lot of points in this game, makes underdog fantasy and the picks I'm going to make this week very, very interesting because we all love seeing points. Well, actually, Scott, you're a defensive guy, so maybe you don't like seeing points. But anyway, underdog fantasy is the funnest single-player game that you can play on. So use the promo code Pewter, P-E-W-T-E-R, by signing up with Underdog Fantasy. Get a first deposit bonus. The pick'em's great. You pick at least 2 players. Got to be 1 from each team, but you could pick way more than that. And you choose higher or lower on a certain number of their stats, whether it's passing yards, receiving yards. They do fantasy points as well, over under 15.5 fantasy points. The more picks you make, the more money you can win. You can win up to 20 times your money, depending on how many picks that you make. Make sure you check out the insurance policy that they have as well. You can get some insurance, and really all that means is, say you make 5 picks and you hit 4 out of the 5 picks. If you
still
have
get paid.
insurance, you still get paid. If
Yeah.
you don't have insurance, you don't get paid at all. So definitely something to keep in mind. But Underdog Fantasy, so much fun.
It
a lot
is.
of great in-season tournaments as well. So use that promo code Pewter, Pewter. Get a first deposit bonus with Underdog Fantasy. There was another super chat that I saw. Just wanted to get to it real quick because it was a super chat and then a comment. Yeah, thank you, Khalif Young, for the $1.99 super chat, who said, we have to get everyone on offense involved. Good comment, because we were actually chatting about this a little bit before when we were at the Bucs facility, Scott, that, it's been a lot of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
Yeah.
Devin Tompkins probably had his best game last game against the New Orleans Saints. Obviously, he had the big touchdown. And we're still kind of waiting for the big Trey Palmer moment. He's made some nice plays. He has 2 touchdowns on the season and really nice, high-pointed catch on his touchdown against the Saints. But at some point, the Bucs are going to need to find that more consistent third option. And
especially,
we haven't totally seen it yet.
You're right. And with his speed and the ability to get vertical, right? We haven't seen that in a game yet. I mean, he had the 31, 32-yard touchdown up there, the Jets game and the preseason. You saw that. I mean, that's his deepest catch to date. That was in the preseason. But Matt, going back to the rookie minicamp and then during the OTAs, we were really surprised at how effective Trey Palmer was in getting open in the end zone, right? Not even the red zone 20 yards and in. We're talking like 10 yards and in, 5 yards and in. He's so good at catching fades and slants and just working the end zone itself. And so you look at these touchdowns he's had in Minnesota and then the one in New Orleans, like those don't come as a surprise. But what we haven't seen yet is what this guy did at Nebraska, where his bread was buttered, was those 70-yard. He had 3 70-yard plus touchdowns last year for the Cornhuskers. And you saw in that practice up there in New York, him smoke Sauce Gardner. Not easy to do when they went up against the Jets in the practices. We've seen here at the facility during the summer, Trey Palmer smoke all of the Buccaneers corners for deep touchdown passes. So that's the one thing we haven't seen yet. Is Sunday going to be the day where we see Trey Palmer get let loose against this Lions secondary? We're waiting on it. Maybe Sunday's the day.
And I think part of it's not even a problem as of yet. The Bucs are 3-1, so you can't say it's a problem. But I think part of the reason we haven't seen that from Trey Palmer just yet is for the first couple of games, obviously Russell Gage got injured in New York or New Jersey during that joint practice, early in that joint practice against the Jets. But moving forward, the Bucs kind of went wide receiver 3 by committee. So Trey Palmer was sharing a lot of those reps with Devin Tompkins, with Rakim Jarrett. But last game against the Saints was really the first time that, at least from a snap count perspective, Trey Palmer really made the difference from separating himself from the pack. It was what I was trying to say. He almost had the same amount of snaps and percentage as Chris Godwin.
Right.
So I think if that is the plan, if that's what Tampa Bay commits to, is Trey Palmer's going to play 70% of the time or whatever it is, I think those opportunities for the big plays, the 70 yards, the yaks, everything like that will come in time. It's just about getting those shots.
Great point. And he's still building that trust with Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, when Baker Mayfield decides to throw the 1-yard fade touchdown and he goes up and gets it, right? And that was a difficult catch for Trey Palmer to make. I mean, we have a picture of it right here. I mean, look at that. Like,
throw to Mike Evans.
The concentration, right? It's like he has got a hand in the face, literally in between the ball and his helmet. And you can see where the eyes are. The eyes of Trey Palmer are right on the pigskin. That's a fantastic picture there.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show you that this is another box checked, right? In the Trey Palmer Baker Mayfield relationship, right? Mm-hmm. It's the trust. I can trust you to come down with it in this difficult little 1-yard fade toss here over Isaac Yidiam. And now maybe the next evolution in that trust is the 40 or 50-yard deep crosser, right? The post pattern, or maybe it's a go, right? I mean, the steps in the right direction, right? For Baker Mayfield and for Trey Palmer and for Dave Canales, who we have another super chat here, $2 super chat from Shaggy.
Yeah.
Canales is first grade. So if you're wondering why there's a barrage, if you're late joining on the program, why there's a barrage of super chats here on this we're going to call it a victory Monday because the Bucs didn't lose. I like what you said, Matt. It's because Celsius has given us 3 cases of orange Celsius to give away. We're giving away 1 case from today's show, 1 for Wednesday's show, and 1 for Thursday's show. And we're going to pick the winner based on the Super Chats. If you give us a Super Chat, any denomination, you get entered, and we'll pick the best question or comment. We're going to put aside the denomination. So you're not under pressure to say, I got to give a $20 Super Chat. You don't have to do that. If you want to, that's great, but that's not going to help your cause. We do appreciate it, but we're just being truthful. It will announce the winner of today's Super Chats on Wednesday's show. And then on Wednesday, we're going to do this again, and we'll give away another case, and we'll announce that winner on Thursday. On Thursday, we're going to do the same thing, and then we'll give away that winner on Sunday's post-game podcast after, hopefully, the Bucs beat the Lions, and that's what you Bucs fans want to hear. But it's going to be really dependent on Dave Canales, and this is the question from Shaggy here. Canales' first quarter grade. Matt, I like a little bit of recency bias here, but also the NFL is a what have you done for me lately league. What we saw is 3 touchdowns from Baker Mayfield in New Orleans. We saw 26 points, the most points yet to date from this Dave Canales offense. The running game got working, not at full steam, but over 100 yards. I'm going to give Dave Canales, because you opened up the playbook, it was more creative. They're 3-1. This is a new system, new offensive line, so much newness, new receivers, new quarterback, new running back. I'm going to give him an A for effort in terms of actual production and yardage and all that stuff. I think it balances out to about a B- for me. And for 4 games in, I mean, the effort is there. Some of those games, the production has been like a C, right? The running game wasn't going. The offensive line didn't look great against the Eagles, etc. So I'm going to give Dave Canales a B-, man.
At first, I thought you were just going to stick with an A. I was like, wow.
No, not yet. He is not quite there yet.
Yeah, I'm going to give Dave Canales a solid B. And with that said, I think it's trending towards a B+. So, I think his grade right now would be like an 83. Where it's getting closer, 2 more points, and he's getting a B+, which looks a lot better. But it's not exactly 80 on the dot, where it's like, oh, well, you're kind of closer to a C+. So a solid B for Dave Canales. And I think he is trending in the right direction. He tried way more stuff that last game against the Saints. I think some of the adjustments that he's made, even going back to week 1 against the Vikings and moving forward, he's done a great job with that, just kind of reading the defense and kind of figuring them out as the game goes along. But with that said, I think there's been way too many 3-and-outs for my liking. The run game still hasn't been figured out, at least especially in between the tackles. I think they've gone outside and have done pretty well. They're very Mike and Chris dependent, which you can get away with that, but what's the other game plan? But on the flip side, the Bucs were still able to win when Mike Evans left that game. But again, because I'm going in all different directions here. Yes, the Bucs scored 26 points against the Saints. Let's also remember 10 of those points came because either Antoine Winfield Jr. stripped the ball out and you started with the ball on the 5-yard line, or the Saints went for it on 4th down because they were down by 2 scores at their own 20, and the Bucs went 3-and-out and kicked the field goal. So yes, they scored 26 points, but it was a little more like 16. But they're taking care of the football. They're trying different things. When you have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, you're usually going to be in good shape. So I think it's a solid B and trending in the right direction.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. Christian Hurst with the $2 Super Chat. I don't know how to spell bodegas. I think that's pretty close. There's probably another G or 2 in there, but I think, a lot of E's, a lot of G's, a lot of A's, a lot of S's at the end. I don't know how to spell it either, but we'll go with that. It looks good.
You absolutely nailed it. There was another Super Chat from before. I don't think we got someone that bought Marcellus Ray. Thank you for the $1.99 Super Chat. Said, just bought an Antoine Winfield Jr. Creamsicle jersey. That is awesome, Marcellus. Very happy for you. I mean, he was part of that commercial for the Creamsicle. So clearly the Bucs are going to put a guy that they expect to be there for a long time wearing the Creamsicle jerseys. So.
Here's the thing. Like, I get a C right here for Celsius on my shirt, right? But it's about time Todd Bowles gives some C's out, right? In terms of some team captains, some Buccaneers wearing the C's. Maybe it comes this week. I don't know. I'm going to ask him on Wednesday. But Antoine Winfield Jr. has never been a captain, but man, he deserves to be a captain this year. He is leading by example. He is leading by production. He is leading with his vocal leadership back in the secondary. He is a one-man gang. So yeah, Antoine Winfield deserves a C on his chest too.
I am curious,
and he deserves an orange creamsicle.
Yes,
from Celsius.
He does. I'm just very curious though if it will be like the players vote and that's who the team captains are, or if the coaches will appoint it. Because while I agree, Antoine Winfield Jr. should be a captain. I mean, you still have Levante David, Vita Vea, and Devin White, who were all captains last season. And who do you tell it's not going to be Levante David?
You know what? Here's my whole thing. A couple of these teams, I think the Giants or whatever, they've got like 8 captains. Like, why not? Like,
sure.
Like, I mean, for me, it's Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin also deserve to be a captain. Tristan Wirfs. 4 on offense, right?
And then I think 4 and 4.
Exactly. And then the 4 that you mentioned, right? I mean,
perfect. All right.
Vita Vea, Devin White, Levante David, and AWJ. So yeah, I think
I like it. And the next season, Jake Camarda can be a special teams captain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Let's get to the super chat from Adam Hamilton, an all-time Pewter Report podcast commenter.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Adam. You are the man. And Adam says, "Boys, Bucs are looking solid, man. The defense is doing what Bucs defenses do, and the offense should come along. My concern is having a threat rushing the ball. Do y'all think Rashad steps up? Go Bucs, Bodega."
Yeah. I hope he does too, right? We love Rashad, friend of the program, hell of a nice guy, Kansas City native. I mean, off the field, Rashad is everything you want in a dude, right? On the field, I've just got to be objective. I've got to be honest. I want to see that second gear, but I want to see it faster. I want to see it at the line of scrimmage, not at the linebacker level, but getting through the hole, accelerate. I don't want to see the hesitation. I want to see full mash the gas, go, and get that instant acceleration. He's not the fastest back in the world. He's more of a plotter.
Yeah.
And he does have some power. He falls forward. There's a lot to like about Rashad White's game, but if I could wave a magic wand and say, do this better, it would be instant acceleration, because getting through the line of scrimmage, getting through the hole, I think that's an area he needs to work on. And maybe he's still swimming a little bit. Maybe he's still trying to read a little bit and like, okay, here's the hole. Where's the linebacker, right? It just go, man. Just like you see daylight, go, and then figure it out once you get to the second level.
Yeah.
I think he's doing too much looking and not enough running. So this is a big year for Rashad. He's getting this year, and this will determine whether he is an 800-yard back and maybe suitable for like a backup role, or is he a 1,000-yard back, or is he a 1,300-yard back? I don't think he's that. But this will determine if the Buccaneers go out in free agency or the draft and get another running back to challenge him for that job next year.
Yeah, we have a couple more super chats to get to, so I'll kind of sum it up quickly. I think the Bucs can win with Rashad as a starter.
Yeah.
But I think he's a great like RB2. And if
I
they
agree.
got like another stud running back in, it would be equivalent to like the Cowboys when Ezekiel Elliott was in his prime and you also had Tony Pollard.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that would be awesome and a great fit for Rashad White. I still think he can be a good starter, but he has to pick it up. Catamax with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Catamax. Says, have we talked Hutchinson versus our O-line yet? I joined the show late.
Right. 2 things real quick. Here's the answer. Number 1, we did a little bit, and we also have Luke Gedicke talking about it. The great thing is all of our podcasts are archived right here on Pewter Report TV on our YouTube channel. So go back and watch the first part of the show. We're running a little bit long here. So I would say that. Plus, on Wednesday, we're going to have our full Bucs Lions preview. That is our 4 o'clock show. Make sure you tune into that Wednesday Bucs Lions preview, and we're going to get more into the Hutchinson Gedicke matchup. That is going to be definitely one of the more watched matchups. I think that's fair to say, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, we think Hutchinson is going to line up against Luke Gedicke, which obviously is something to consider. Ward Burns, thank you for the $5 super chat, says, Canales recently mentioned that perimeter type runs are change-ups only in his scheme. With our line being stronger outside, is this hurting us at all? I think Canales will play to the strengths of the team, and if they continue to run the football well to the outside, he's not going to stop doing that just because my philosophy was this or that. We've seen already he will adjust all the time, And if that's the case, then that's what he'll continue to do.
Speaking of adjustments, folks, if you are looking to buy or sell a house and you're not happy with your realtor, well, I got the right guy for you. It's Eric Gross in the Eric Gross Group. Probably should have started with Eric to begin with, but the great thing is you can call the Audible. You can call Eric and his team of realtors and get yourself back in the game. It takes a full team effort to win a football game, and it takes a full team effort to win in real estate. The Eric Gross Group is the official realtor of Pewter Report, and they've got all sorts of experience to handle any type of real estate issue you have, whether it's buying or selling a home. You got to make sure that you go to their website, housesinfla.com. It's a great website. You can check out their inventory, Houses in FLA, and make sure that you check out the Facebook and Instagram page at the Eric Gross Group and check out them on social media. No matter where you are in your home ownership journey, you're going to feel welcome with the Eric Gross Group, the official realtor of Pewter Report. Make sure you visit housesinfla.com. And they also have a Creamsicle jersey giveaway. Yeah. Winner's going to be drawn on October 14th. All you have to do is real simple, is go to Eric Gross Group on Facebook, like their business page, and comment on it, right? You can say, go Bucs. You can say, beat the Lions. You can say, Tampa Bay. You can say, Pewter Report, whatever you want. And you'll be entered to win a Creamsicle jersey, and you pick the size and you pick the number, folks. It's that easy. So go to the Eric Gross Group Facebook page, like it, comment on it, and you'll be entered to win.
Absolutely. Let's get to another super chat. This one from Ryan Giles. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat, who says, how's the camaraderie in the Bucs locker room compared to years past? I feel like we have a great group. Another really good question.
Yeah.
I think it's very, very similar. And remember, you still have a core group of guys from those Super Bowl winning teams. I think it's a great locker room atmosphere. You have a lot of guys getting along. And then part of the addition of Baker Mayfield, we talked about this, him stretching with the defensive linemen and stuff like that. Scott, we see it in the locker room. They got chessboards. They're
playing chess now. That's the game, man. That's a Todd Bowles thing.
And they play cards. But it's not just the running backs hanging out with the running backs. It's Mike Evans and Vita Vea, and Mike Evans and Devin White, and you're getting different groups from both sides all hanging out. And that's something that Luke Gedeke talked about last Monday when he had him, where he said in the past, it's like, oh, well, you play defense, like we're not going to hang out. But this team, it doesn't matter if you're the kicker or, the fifth string, seventh string offensive lineman. Yeah, this team gets along really well. There's great chemistry on this team.
And there's a lot of chessboards too. That's the interesting thing, man. Is like you see there's like a couple couches right in the middle of the locker room, and there's these tables, and the players will go over there and chat and play some chess. It's cool. It's cool to see. It's fun to see younger guys playing old school games like chess rather than just gaming and all of that. So it's cool.
Very true. Got another super chat from Paul, a.k.a. Florida Dreamhouse. Thank you for the $2 super chat, who says, Bucs -3 at home. Matty D, do we like? I think they're +3. I think they'll be the underdog this week against the Lions. Check out Pewter Picks and Props coming up this Friday to get that answer. I can't give it away right now, but appreciate the super chat nonetheless. Definitely a tough one to choose. It's not the easiest line to pick, but doesn't matter. It's the Bucs game. Got to pick it.
That's right. It's easy to choose where you're going to be at 4 o'clock on Wednesday, right? Because you're going to be right here at the Pewter Report TV channel on YouTube. It's our YouTube channel. Make sure you're hitting the like button on our videos and leave comments. That helps our algorithm gets us in front of more Pewter people like you. But you guys will be tuning in for the Bucs Lions preview, won't you? At 4 o'clock. We'll be here. So why don't you be here as well? And make sure you're also visiting Pewter Report TV for more great Bucs video content. I'm going to have a Pewter Pulse video tonight, as well as a couple for Wednesday and Thursday. So make sure you check out those videos, as well as our social media, X, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, at Pewter Report, and of course, Pewter Report TV on YouTube, and the mothership, pewterreport.com, for the injury update that Matt had today. The Bucs mailbag is up. We'll have a new SR's Fab 5 on Friday, plus all of the locker room news this week about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And remember, we'll pick a winner for the free Celsius on Wednesday's show, and then you'll have a chance to win on Wednesday and Thursday as well. Super Chats automatically get you eligible to win the Celsius energy drink orange, which is great flavor, Creamsicle Week. That's going to do it for us for today's show. For Scott Reynolds, I'm Matt Matera saying thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for another edition of the Pewter Report podcast. Peace out.